Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Sya Om Ajnana Timarandasya Yananshana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Vidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwa Gurun Shah Divyat Bhagavad Prem Noi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Varanam Balarka Chelan Sandrananda Puram Sareka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanshakapatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, The Hidden Treasure of the Sweet Absolute by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj. And this is Chapter 9, Raja-guhya-yoga, The Hidden Treasure of Devotion. So we're on verse number 13. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. But, O Partha, the great-hearted souls take refuge in the divine nature, and they wholeheartedly worship and adore me, knowing me as the eternal origin of all. So, previously, Krishna said, Avajananti mamudha manushim tanamashritam parambhava majjananto mamabhuta maheshwaram mogasa mogakarmano mogagyana vichetasa rakshasim asurim jaiva prakritim mohinim shrita. Not knowing the transcendental nature of my form of human features, ignorant persons blaspheme me, the Supreme Lord of all beings, considering me a mortal. Their hopes, acts, knowledge, and thoughts all in vain. Such persons acquire the ignorant and demoniac nature which leads to their downfall. So those persons cannot understand Krishna's divine form, that his body is fully spiritual, and they think he's an ordinary person. Also, they can't understand the divine sound of Krishna's name. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purno Shuddho Nitya Muktam Binatvam Namanamino. They can't understand that everything is spiritual about the Lord and His divine name, which is always completely distinct from any material sound or anything of this material world. They can't understand that name is non-different from the Lord. But in this verse, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti mashrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. Here Krishna says, but O Partha, the great-hearted souls take refuge in the divine nature, and they wholeheartedly worship and adore me, knowing me as the eternal origin of all. So those are the great souls. This is the real meaning of Mahatma. And Mahatma isn't just some term for a person who is of renown or fame, either among men, but really Krishna here says that a Mahatma is a person who's taken refuge in the spiritual nature, means that they understand their position as eternal servants of the Lord and as devotees. So they wholeheartedly worship and adore the Lord, knowing Him as the eternal origin of all. So that is really what is a Mahatma. And who we consider to be great souls is our divine spiritual acharyas, our spiritual master. That in this lifetime, I've known Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and Srila Govinda Maharaj. And we consider those kind of persons who are divine, worshipable, eternal spiritual masters. They are the real Mahatmas. And this is the definition given by the Lord Himself, given by Krishna. Daivim prakriti mashrita, they've taken shelter of the divine spiritual nature, and they worship the Lord wholeheartedly and adore Him as the origin of everything. Saratam kirtayanto mam yatantas cha dhridavrata namashantas cha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. They continually chant my glories, strive to learn spiritual truths about me, and faithfully follow the devotional practices. Bowing to me and worshiping me with devotion, they aspire for the eternal relationship with me. They continuously chant my glories, strive to learn spiritual truths about me, and faithfully follow the devotional practices. Bowing to me and worshiping me with devotion, they aspire for their eternal relationship with me. So if someone wants to understand how to chant the glories of the Lord and how to learn spiritual truths about Him and how to follow all devotional practices, then they must come to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without Mahaprabhu, no one can actually understand. Without Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, no one can understand who is Sri Radha and Krishna, who they are. Mahaprabhu's divine guidance is necessary. So if someone strives to better themselves in knowing of the nature of the Lord and to devote spiritual practices, then they can follow the example given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And what better way of learning about Mahaprabhu than through Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavad. These literatures will give us information about Mahaprabhu and how we can enter into the practice of the Lord. Actually, all of us, we're here because of the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I mentioned my divine masters. They are all completely attached to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. And they give unending glories to the Lord. Especially Chaitanya Charitamrita will give us information about what is the highest realization and the highest vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the practice of devotional service. And Jnana yagyena chapi anye yajanto mam upasate ekatvena pritaktvena bahuda vishvato mukam. Others perform the knowledge sacrifice and worship me in oneness. Others worship me in differentiation, and yet others worship me in a multitude of ways as the universal form. Others perform the knowledge sacrifice and worship me in oneness. Others worship me in differentiation, and yet others worship me in a multitude of ways as the universal form. So everything is subordinate and dependent on Mahaprabhu. Everything will come from understanding of him, that I've talked about. And yet there are, here in the Bhagavad Gita, there's other classes of paths that are mentioned, but ultimately none of these will be as practical and as will help us develop as much as the personal worship of the Lord. In the very beginning, Krishna said about this knowledge which he is giving here, he said, idam tu te guyatamam pravakshami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yad jgatva mokshase shubhat raja vidya raja-guhyam pavitramidam uttamam pratyakshava gamam dharmyam shushukam kartum avyayam. I now reveal to you, Arjuna, who are without envy, this most hidden treasure of knowledge of pure devotion with direct realization of me, knowing which you will be liberated from inauspiciousness, from all that is opposed to devotion. Know this to be the king of secrets, the king of knowledge, supreme, pure, and imperishable. It is known by direct realization, by one eager to serve me. It is the perfection of religion and very easy to practice. So Krishna is giving us a vision of pure devotional service, how to practice it. Now it is said here, in this, others perform the knowledge sacrifice and worship me in oneness. Others worship me in differentiation. And yet others worship me in a multitude of ways as the universal form. But we have always understood that actually karma and jnana are impediments for devotional service. So we will not take to, I remember when I came to the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mutt, Srila Maharaj, he told me that Bhakti is not about power, nor is it about knowledge, but as Rupa Goswami says, Ananya, Rupa Goswami says that one must leave knowledge and karma to the side. And anukulyena Krishna nushilanam bhakti arutama. That real devotional service means doing that which is favorable to the Lord. It's not about acquiring knowledge, or it's not about acquiring some power or some cities, but actually devotional service is about pleasing the Lord. I'm trying to think of the verse of Rupa Goswami, where the beginning of that verse, he says that leaving karma and knowledge aside, so this is Srila Maharaj. He talked about how these two, karma and jnana, they are negative forces. Karma leads to power, and jnana leads to renunciation. We are not interested in those. Those are both on the negative side. But on the positive side, there is the plane of dedication. And dedication, that is what we're interested in, serving the Lord. So others perform the knowledge sacrifice and worship me in oneness. Others worship me in differentiation. And yet others worship me in a multitude of ways as the universal form. Aham kraturaham yagya swadaham aham oshadam Mandroham aham eva jam, aham agnir, aham hutam, aham kratur, aham yagya, swadaham, aham oshadam, mandroham, aham eva jam, aham agnir, aham hutam. I'm the Vedic Jyotishtama. I'm the Vedic Jyotishtoma sacrifice and the fire sacrifice to the Vishvadeva demigods and others as enjoined in the Smriti scriptures. I am the oblation to the ancestors, the food, and the mantra. I am the sacrificial ingredients, such as ghee. I am the consecrated fire, and I am the act of offering. So everything ultimately is dependent and sanctioned by the Lord. Otherwise, nothing will be happening. The demigods who are worshipped, they are all worshipped, but they are actually agents of the Lord. And they are, we can say, within the creation, they are meant to perform functions for assisting the Lord in developing, we can say, developing devotion among the living entities. But sometimes persons erroneously worship the demigods independent of the Lord, but they don't understand that actually the devas themselves are all subservient to the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is called Deva. He's the supreme among all the demigods. He's the one who is to be worshipped. Pitahamasya jagato matadata pitamaha Vedyam pavitram omkara rikshama yajor evacha. I'm the father and the mother of the universe, the ordainer of the living entities, fruits of action, the forefather and the object of all knowledge. I'm the purifying Om, the Rig, Sama, and Yajur Vedas. Gatir Bharta Prahu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surit Prabhava Pralayastanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. And I am the goal, the maintainer, master, witness, refuge, guardian, and true friend. I'm the universal manifestation, sustenance, and withdrawal. I'm the reservoir. I am the original seed. I am the imperishable, supreme Lord. Tapami aham varsham nigrinami usrijami cha amritam jaiva mrityuscha sad asats chaham Arjuna. O Arjuna, I give heat, and the rain comes and goes by my will. I am immortality and death. I am truth and untruth. Trividya mams somapa putrapap. Trividyamam somapa puta papa yagyar ištva svargatim prartayante te punyam asadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divi deva bhogan. Persons who perform the fruitive ritualistic sacrifices prescribed in 3 of the Vedas worship Indra and other demigods. In fact, they worship me, but in an indirect way. They drink the sacrificial remnants of the Soma beverage, purify themselves of sin, and pray to attain the heavenly plane. As a result of their piety, they reach heaven and enjoy celestial pleasures. Persons who perform the fruitive ritualistic sacrifices prescribed in 3 of the Vedas worship Indra and other demigods. In fact, they worship me, but in an indirect way. They drink the sacrificial remnants of the Soma beverage, purify themselves of sin, and pray to attain the heavenly plane. As a result of their piety, they reach heaven and enjoy celestial pleasures. So persons are able to perform these sacrifices, these mantras, they're acts of worshiping the forefathers, All these things actually are given by Krishna. They're actually worshiping Krishna, but as he says, in an indirect way. But persons, they don't understand these things. And so that becomes important to them. But the devotees are seeing more the totality. What is the actual situation? Tetam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam shinye punye martya lokam vishanti evam trayi dharmam anuprapana gata gatam kama labante tetam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam shinye punye Martya lokam vishanti evam trayi dharmam anuprapana gatam kama labante. After enjoying the vast heavenly plane, upon the exhaustion of their pious merits, they return to the human plane. In this way, persons desiring enjoyment who follow the Vedic rituals for demigod worship come and go. They undergo repeated birth and death in this material world. Ananyas chitayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nitya biyuktanam yoga shemam vahami. I bear the responsibility of acquiring and protecting the necessities of my fully dependent devotees who are always absorbed in thought of me and who worship me in every way. So others may worship the Lord for some material end, and they may get the results of their activities. These results are awarded by the Lord very easily. They don't require anything from him. He is able to grant that. And according to their karma, they are getting these results. They exhaust their karma, and again they come back to this material plane. Sometimes it is said they fall to this material plane back to this earth in the form of rain. It brings them back here. But they are exhausting their karma, sometimes going up and sometimes coming down. And that in itself we consider to be a punishment. That is not a goal to be attained by the devotees. Now there was a punishment that used to be done by kings where they would strap someone to a chair and then submerge that person in water for some time, and then after some time bring them up above the water, and then they could breathe again, and then they were submerged. But that is actually what we're undergoing when we go through this cycle of karma. And we get some good results, and we attain some high place, some heavenly enjoyment, and then again, when our karma is exhausted, again we go back down into lower species or lower situations in life. And why we would desire that? Rather, we're not desiring any situation in heaven or hell. Our goal is service. And as we see in the case of Chitraketu, when Chitraketu was cursed by Mother Parvati to take birth as the demon Vritasura, then Lord Shiva told his wife that you have actually cursed someone who is a pure devotee of the Lord. He's a Narayana Purayana. He's a surrendered soul of the Lord. For him, Chitraketu just accepted that curse and bowed down to Parvati and said, whatever you desire, mother. But he's considering that any situation, whether it's in heaven or hell, whether it's birth as a demigod or even birth as an asura, his consciousness is always absorbed in the service of the Lord. So for him to be in heaven or hell was not the important consideration. So this is a very beautiful story that's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but we can understand what it means to the devotees. They're not interested in gaining some access to heavenly pleasures. This may be important to persons in this world. I remember I one time had a conversation with a man, and he was talking about how beautiful a particular temple was and how opulent it was and everything like that. And I told him that may be the case, but what if I was to tell you that there in Navadip, in the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mutt, is staying one very exalted Vaishnava, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and his temple may not be by comparison so opulent as this, so full of splendor, but he is a pure devotee, and you will gain so much by having his association. And then that man truthfully replied to me. He said, Maharaj, we are ordinary persons. We are seeing how opulent it is, how wonderful it is. So in that sense, something may be very opulent, but Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he talked about even being thrown down to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha with its sense of awe, majesty, and awe and reverence, majesty, all these things, opulence. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj, as the pure servant of the Vaishnavas and as a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he talked about being thrown down to that plane. And what Mahaprabhu gives and what Krishna gives actually in Vrindavan is not that kind of opulence. Although we understand by the prayers that we sing every morning and every evening that Radha and Krishna are seated in Vrindavan on a throne bedecked with jewels, the worship of Shri Shri Radha Govinda. They're on a throne made of jewels, but these things cannot be seen by the ordinary eyes. And actually, what kind of jewels are they? They're chintamani, divine jewels. What is it? If we think of chintamani, they're conscious jewels. Everything in that plane is conscious. And it is not one, when Mahaprabhu is given what Krishna is showing in Vrindavan is not opulence, but they're showing the path of attraction of the soul for the Lord, the path of Ragmarg. That is our worshipable ideal, worshipable by us, and not necessarily we are considering that is either attainable by us or within our vision, but still it is, we are worshiping that divine plane. So we are not but still, as that man told me, persons are so much enamored by opulence, by majesty. But that is not the vision of the devotees. Yepi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mam evakonteya yajanti avidi purvakam. Yepi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mam evakonteya yajanti avidi purvakam. O Konteya, the devotees of the demigods who have faith in worshiping them are actually worshiping me, but incorrectly. So, O Kuntiya, the devotees of the demigods who have faith in worshipping them are actually worshipping me, but incorrectly. And, Aham isarva yagyanam bhokta cha prabhur eva cha natu mam abhijananti tatvenatas chaya chavanti te. Aham isarva yagyanam bhokta cha prabhur eva cha natu mam abhijananti tatvenatas chayavanti te. I alone am the enjoyer and rewarder of all sacrifices, but being ignorant of my position, the demigod worshippers fall to take birth again. I alone am the enjoyer and rewarder of all sacrifices, but being ignorant of my position, the demigod worshippers fall to take birth again. So this belies a mistake so many persons have. They think worship of Krishna, worship of the demigods is on the same plane. They think whatever path you take, you will get to the supreme. But they're ignorant. They don't persons who worship the demigods in this way, as Krishna said previously in the previous verse, they're actually worshiping Krishna, but in an incorrect way. They don't understand that whatever the demigods can give is actually coming from Krishna. But those who worship, those who take to the pure devotion, they actually are able to, the Lord, they're actually able to capture the Lord by their devotion. And this is the actual consideration of what we should understand. Persons who think that any worship of any demigod will give the same results, they're actually impersonalist. They have this philosophy that all the devas and the Lord, they're all equal, but they're ignorant. They don't understand. Just as Krishna said, they're worshiping the Lord, but incorrectly. Just like we have seen in many countries, if the police stop you, people will be successful in bribing the police. But in some places, if you offer the police a bribe, it will worsen your offense. You'll be arrested for trying to offer a bribe to the police. Of course, maybe it still takes place on a higher level. That may be because they're just that the bribes are bigger. But this is a situation of persons who are worshiping the demigods. They're actually offering some kind of bribe, but they don't understand that they may be able to do that because Krishna, he doesn't so easily give worship of himself. He only gives that when there is pure devotion, that he will only be captured by pure devotion. So this may occur, but actually it is all being done under the sanction of the Lord. I alone am the enjoyer and rewarder of all sacrifices, but being ignorant of my position, the demigod worshippers fall to take birth again. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitri vrataha bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti mad yajinopi mam. Yanti deva vratan devam pitrin yanti pitri vrataha Bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti mad yajinopi mam. The demigod worshippers reach the demigods. The forefather worshippers go to the plane of their ancestors, and the worshippers of the spirits go to the spirits. But those who worship me come to me. Those who worship Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. Those who worship the Devas, they may go to the Devas. Pitrin Yanti Pitri Vrataha. Those who worship the ancestors go to the plane of their ancestors. And Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja. Those who worship so many different bhoots, so many different spirits. They can also go to be with them. But Krishna said, Yanti mad yajinopi mam. But those who worship me come to me. And that is the highest destination. So I remember from the very, very beginning stating what Sanatana Goswami inquired. I remember there was always a comment, who are we? Where are we coming from? Who am I? Where am I coming from? And why am I always being troubled by these three negative forces of the material nature? The kleshas, adi klesha, adi klesha, then the Daivi klesha, adi klesha, and what is it, the term for the kleshas caused by other living entities? Adi Bautik, Adi Daivik, and Adi Adhyatmika. Adhyatmika is the miseries caused by my own body and mind. Adi Bautika is the miseries caused by other living entities. And Adi Daivika is the miseries caused by by providence, by the forces of nature. Say Adi Bautika, Adhyatmika, Adi Bautika, Adi Daivika. And Sanatana Goswami inquired, why, who am I? Who am I? And where am I going? And why am I always suffering by these acts of the different kleshas? So most people don't inquire like that. They don't inquire anything about themselves. And so here, but Krishna answers, but those who worship me come to me. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati taraham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmana. If one offers me with devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I affectionately accept that offering of the clean-hearted devotee. If one offers me with devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I affectionately accept that offering of the clean-hearted devotee. So, it is not difficult to worship the Lord. All these things are available to anyone. A leaf, a flower, fruit, or water. Anyone can acquire these articles. But it is not that in and of themselves, that is not what is important. It's that one will offer this with love and devotion. This is actually what is attracting everyone. That everyone is ultimately in this world, people are looking for some affection. They're attracted by affection. If someone will show affection to someone, then they will become dear to that person. And Krishna is not interested in that you will offer him jewels and money and great opulence. He wants the affection with which you offer these things. And he says that all this is obtainable by anyone. Leaf, flower, water, fruit. We take these things for granted. Maybe not in all cases. I remember one person who grew up in Russia in the old times, he said that one time it was his birthday, and for his birthday present he was given a banana. And people and other people came around to see that banana. So in some kinds of fruit, some kinds of flowers will be very much appreciated as, like for instance, here behind me, someone has brought these vases with orchids in them. And we always heard about how celestial orchids are whenever they had some special event or a prom or something. So the big thing was to offer to the boy would offer to his date an orchid corsage or something like that. And here we see that people are bringing orchids to offer to the Lord. When I went with the devotees to Colombia, then especially in the city of Medellin, there was gardens with thousands of orchids just growing there. So by our consideration, that was very, everyone's walking through those gardens and staring at something out of the ordinary. So sure, there are fruit, flower, water, a leaf. So these can be offered to the Lord, but the ingredient, the thing that makes them special, is the love and devotion with which they're offered. And I saw now we're in, what is it? Late spring, right? Not yet. Not yet summer. When does summer begin? What? June 21st. Is that right? So still, it is very late spring, we can say. But I remember that a few months ago, here on our land, all these flowers everywhere, they're all in bloom, just growing. Some flowers have been planted, and they're growing thousands of flowers there. And some flowers are actually growing wild. Just you see them, and beautiful. So the devotees are offering those flowers to the Lord on the altar, and I liked very much when devotees were doing that. And I called those flowers, I called them home buds, because they were growing on our land, and I was thinking that those flowers would want to be offered to the Lord. And among the flowers, if some flower was offered to the Lord, all that flower's friends and parents and, all the flowers of that species. Sometimes these yellow flowers are just growing everywhere. But when those yellow flowers would be strung on a garland offered to the Lord, I'm sure all the other flowers were thinking, oh, how fortunate it is that we see our friend here has been picked and offered as a necklace to the Lord. Or as a mala, as a garland. So then that's very, and when I see that, I was happy to see that what is growing here on our land, this is the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram, the place where worship is going on to the Lordship, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari, when I could see that the flowers that were from here, and then we have these bushes which would grow, so many of these small pink roses, hundreds of them on one plant. They're offering themselves very abundantly. So when we see that those leaf, flowers, fruit, water, they're offered to the Lord, that's very, they're being done, offered with love and devotion, and the Lord, when they're given with those ingredients, the Lord is accepting them. And then you'll see the devotees are taking that. As Srila Govinda Maharaj once explained, you may be walking through the fields and you unconsciously even step on so many flowers. But if one of those flowers is offered to the Lord, then you'll take that flower and you'll put it on you'll hold it to your head. If that water, here we didn't, at one time, we just had some springboks, and we were thinking that there wouldn't be enough water in the future for our ashram because many devotees would come. So we dug a well, and by Srila Govinda Maharaj's presence, I believe, and we hit an underground stream, and there's unlimited amounts of water that come bubbling, come to the surface all the time of that well, and still our well goes lower and gets more water from down below. But and people come to the ashram just to feel tubs of, or rather containers of water to take home, because the water is so tasty. And that water is all the mercy of the Lord. And then when that water is offered to the Lord, the devotees are very happy to take tulsi, this water with tulsi leaves in it. And the leaf, everything that's offered on the altar has a tulsi leaf in it. Leaf, flower, water, fruit. I remember when Srila Prabhupada, he was in his later days, one devotee would come sometimes from Tehran, a Treya Rishi, and he'd bring fruit from Tehran to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada remarked that this is something that not even any king would get. Just this wonderful, wonderful things from faraway places brought to him, offered to him. So, one offers me with devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or water. I affectionately accept that offering of the clean-hearted devotees. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhoshi didasi yat tapashyasi konteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. O konteya, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give, and whatever vow you may keep, do everything as an offering unto me. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhoshi didasi yat tapashyasi konteya tat kurushva madarpanam. O Kontiya, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give, and whatever vow you may keep, do everything as an offering unto me. Shubha Shubha Phalar Evam Moksha Se Karma Bandhanai Sannyasa Yogam Yuktatma Vimukto Mam Upaishyasi. Shubha Shubha Phalar Evam Moksha Se Karma Bandhanai Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mam Upaishyasi. Acting thus, you will be freed from bondage to action and its inauspicious. Acting thus, you will be freed from bondage to action and its auspicious or inauspicious results. With mind selflessly linked to me, you will be perfectly liberated and you will come to me. Acting thus, you will be freed from bondage to action and its auspicious or inauspicious results. With mind selflessly linked to me, you will be perfectly liberated and you will come to me. So this is very good advice for Arjuna, who's very cautious about the battle in which he will be engaged, the battle of Kurukshetra. And he's thinking that he doesn't want to accept for his own enjoyment anything which will be tainted by the blood of the members of the Kuru dynasty, of the Kauravas. He's thinking that this, and the Lord is telling him, that is not the consideration. The consideration is you're not bound by from bondage to action and its auspicious or inauspicious results. And why? Why won't you be bound? Because Krishna says, with mind selflessly linked to me, you will be perfectly liberated, and you will come to me. So everything is being done selflessly. We're not thinking of ourselves as the enjoyer. And similarly, we shouldn't think of ourselves as a sufferer, but rather we're doing actions for the pleasure of the Lord, His devotees, His servants, certainly everything dedicated to the offering to our divine spiritual master. That is our consideration. Now, normally these considerations wouldn't exist in a mundane society. No one is thinking like that. No one is acting selflessly. Nobody is accepting, practically they're not accepting any authority. Everyone feels free to criticize everyone else. Everyone can find fault with everyone else except fault with themselves. But our consideration is to act for the pleasure of the Lord and His devotees. We're not considering what is desirable or what is undesirable. That's why also, I told the comment once that I was planning on traveling, and yet there was practically no space when I could travel according to when would be auspicious and when would be inauspicious. And I was to travel on Brihaspati Barbela. And I was thinking, this is very dangerous. So when I said to Srila Prabhupada, I want to go for preaching, but now it is coming Brihaspati Barbela. And then Srila Prabhupada told me, my spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he followed everything very carefully. And he said, now, do you follow everything carefully? You're always observing everything carefully. I said, no. And then he said, why just this? Then he told me to go, and the result was very nice. So we're not considering what is auspicious or inauspicious. That is the consideration. Anyway, I'm going to stop here. I believe on tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll have Arun Krishna's program, and on Thursday, then I'll have Bhagavad Gita class again. Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Janavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Gopa Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Janardan Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raguna. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Rasa Raguna. Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Joite Vignana Shavista Puran. Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas. Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas. Dasabar Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Kader Charana Sebi Bhakta Sanibas. Janame Janame More Abhilas. Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naradamudas. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, Haribo, Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhariju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajaka Charyasta Chara Sarashi Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajaka Charyasta Chara Sarashi Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premzi Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Vishvabharinya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvik Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Akadasi Upavas Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.